So hi guys, in this video we're going to talk about how to approach Introduction to Internet of Things both as a course as well as in the general context. So first, let's start with the exam point of view. When you come to this section, IIoT portions can be classified into three main parts, that is factual, conceptual and practical. Let's first start with the factual part of it. So factual part of it refers to the hard raw data that is being given to you that provides you information about the specifications or different quality parameters and stuff like that. So in the upcoming lectures, some of the factual portions that we are going to be discussing about are the specifications of various boards such as Arduino Uno's board, and also modern boards. We are going to be talking about the sensor specifications, sensors such as DHT11, and we're also going to be comparing the specifications of DHT11 versus DHT22 and stuff like that, and access technologies parameters. So this basically talks about the various access technologies. So what does actual access technologies means? It's just basically Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and technologies which are similar to that. Okay, so these can be put up against each other in a set of parameters. Stuff like these are usually come under factual part of the IoT portions. When you have something like this, how you are gonna deal with it? My trick for that is use mnemonics. So mnemonics is basically a shortcut for you to remember the first letters, and you just basically use some patterns to somehow remember the big content that is provided to you. And when it comes to this factual part of the IIoT, there is no other way apart from just mugging it all up. But to make the process easier, we use mnemonics. I'll be providing certain mnemonics as we move again in our lecture series. I suggest you to use that to make your life better in remembering all these factual stuff. Let's move on to the next part of the IoT portions, which are conceptual. Now, what does conceptual mean? I think I'll be able to explain it better via an example. So let's take something like timers and counters. So this is a concept which is not just recorded in just one domain. Timers and counters is also used in Arduino as well as Raspberry Pi as well as ESP32 as well as the thousand other IoT and development boards that you will be studying in future. In that sense, timers and counters represent a very basic knowledge that you need in order to understand the IoT world. So some of the conceptual portions involve, as I said before, timers and counters, as well as interrupts and embedded systems, etc. Out of this, embedded systems is a very important concept, which it's not covered that much in our IoT portions. But I would highly suggest you to master this embedded systems concept because this forms the backbone of the entire IoT world. Purely when it comes to exam point of view, these are all of these belong to the all of these and some more belong to the conceptual part. So when it comes to concepts, one good thing about concepts is there are so much reference for you to learn from because these are not contained within the specific portions or stuff like that. These are concepts with which you can find like hundreds of videos. Some of them are in very high quality, I should say. That is one good thing when it comes to conceptual part. When it comes to portions, I'll just ask you to go through the class notes as much as possible. You can go through your class notes to gain an initial understanding, and if you feel it a bit difficult, you can watch our videos for properly gaining and thorough understanding of the particular portion. So yeah, guys, coming to the final part of the three classifications, we're going to talk about the practical aspects of the IoT world. In this, we just basically, as the name suggests, we just do stuff in real life. That's basically practical. Some of the portions which we have include Arduino Uno and Raspberry Pi and stuff like that. One thing that is required in the practical aspect of IoT is just doing stuff. When it comes to the IoT lab, you'll be provided the Arduino Uno board as well as the Raspberry Pi board. So use those to the fullest potential. I would highly suggest not to destroy it, obviously, but try to use it to the fullest potential that you can, so that this basically forms the training ground for you to master this IoT world in the quickest way possible. So when it comes to the practical aspects of IoT portion, you just have to do it in real life. Okay, guys. Now let's come to the part where we discuss about the order of learning this stuff. So actually, if you ask me, the order depends on you. How would you like to approach this subject? Frames the order you want to move ahead when it comes to this course. But my personal suggestion is to first dive in using the Arduino boards. First, try doing a couple of projects. Google, the basic code behind it. Just try to mess around with the boards. Once you get a project or two running, even making LED blink is a project, I should say. Just try doing those stuff, and then when you actually do those stuff, you will automatically get an curiosity as to why this code works this way, or why this board works this way, why does this sensor work this particular way. When you start asking the questions, when you actually get a curiosity, that's when you will have a thirst for the conceptual part of the IoT portions. Concepts talk about the why of the problem. In my opinion, when you understand the practical aspects of it, and then when you try to expand your knowledge and have a bit of curiosity, that's when I think you will be able to understand the weight of the concepts much better. And then finally, before exam, when you have to just remember stuff, just before exam, memorize or as much of mnemonics as you can, and just go write it down. You know? So this is my personal suggestion. As I said before, it's completely on your end on how you want to approach this subject, I should say. So now let's move on to mastering the IoT purely in a general sense. IoT as a concept instead of a course. Honestly saying, I wouldn't consider myself to be an master in IoT, but based on my understanding of this subject, I should say IoT is a very generalized thing. It's sort of like a vast ocean. In order to properly understand the true essence of IoT, I would like you to mess around with these development boards. I think I said these before. First is Arduino, you'll be learning this in the course portions as well. But apart from that, try to mess around with it. Because one thing is, it's very easy to learn and it has so many modifications possible in it, which makes it a great beginner development board. So after you are done with the Arduino, I would suggest you to actually try learn ESP32, because I know it's not in the portions, but after all the projects I have done with it, I should definitely say that lies right in the sweet spot between easiness of learning ESP32 as well as the ability it has. One thing about Arduino is, of course, it's something which is it's a board which has so many modifications possible, but on the end of the day, it's not a very powerful board. It's just for learning purposes. If you need a more powerful board, I should say, ESP32 is highly recommended. After ESP32, you can move on to RPI boards. The reason I have kept RPI at the last is RPI is quite expensive compared to the other two boards. Be careful not to destroy the board. It costs a fortune when compared to the other two boards. These are the recommendations which every senior IoT senior would be giving you. So apart from that, my personal recommendation is the fastest way to update your IoT knowledge. The most interactive way for you to update your IoT knowledge is following blogs on internet. Try following blogs or newsletters of companies like Bosch or Zogo and such, because it's just fun to look at. Start of really, it will barely take like 10 minutes of your day, and you can learn all the new updates that the IoT world has. My favorite is Zogo, they are very good at it. But yeah, you can try following other blogs or newsletters as well. For those who are not really fond of programming in IoT, I would suggest trying Blink IoT for those people. It is a low code platform from which you can make websites or app for all your IoT systems without much hassle, I should say. So yeah, that's all I had to say. Happy learning. Thank you.